2005 was such an amazing year for film. We got Batman Begins, Revenge of the Sith, Narnia, The Goblet of Fire to name a few, but specifically we got none other than the king of the jungle, King Kong. King Kong the film was released theatrically on December 14th, 2005, while the video game counterpart released in the United States on November 21st, 2005. The game and the movie are different in terms of plot points, but not overall story. I'm not sure if this was deliberate to give gamers a different experience when they went to go see the movie, who knows. I'm gonna try not to compare the game to the movie, but one odd thing that stuck out to me after watching the movie was that the game completely omits Bruce Baxter as a character entirely. In the movie, he's a hotshot movie star that saves Jack and the crew later on, but his disappearance isn't really missed all that much in the game. The story starts off with Carl Denham trying to get his big break as a movie director. He somehow manages to finesse his way into getting an entire film crew, an actress, and a star writer. Carl is a failed videographer who would do and say anything to get his film made. He manipulates Ann Darrow, a struggling actress looking for work and pay, Jack Driscoll, an esteemed theater writer, and Captain Englehorn, the captain of the Venture, all to contribute their efforts and professions to his cause and promise of fame and fortune. They voyage to Skull Island where Denham flees from police and hopes to come back with his big break in the film industry. You play the game as Jack Driscoll, and on your journey to the island with the crew, some giant rocks break loose and crash the boats. You pass out, and when you wake up, Ann is all up in your grill and saying a crewmate died. You explore the island with Ann, Captain Hayes, and Carl. Carl's trying to get some shots and has Ann scream as loud as she can, and when she does, a loud roar shakes the entire island. Denham decides that between the giant killer crabs and the loud roar that it would be a good time to keep moving forward on the island. You continue on the island when you see some crew members that got split up from you, and they get carried away by the tides and nobody really seems to care. It just felt like a "aw man" moment from everybody.
We'll see them again. Let's go.
Okay, everyone's just chill about it. You enter a tomb of some sort and Carl starts filming, so you know I had to flex real quick.
Looks like so.
Hey, get the shot. You got the shot? Do I look crispy? You get ambushed by some giant centipedes and have to fight them off. And when you get outside, you're greeted with giant bats and have to fight them off too, as well as more centipedes. This was around the time that I got the feeling that Jack Driscoll is the emotional support of the group. Everyone constantly screams his name, and when Jack gets split up from the group, she doesn't say, "Guys, we need to find a way to get back to Jack." She just says specifically, "Wait for me, Jack," and ditches Carl and Hayes.
Wait for me, Jack! I'm coming with you!
Hey, are you crazy?
I know what I'm doing!
Damn. She wanna be by me so bad. You explore some more with Ann, fight off some bats, and then you leave your leg behind because you decided it wasn't that important to you to begin with.
Hit my target.
Bro, wait. Wait. You somehow meet up with Hayes and Carl, and I'm not sure why this was added in the game, but Jack randomly loses his breath, and it's so incredibly loud and obnoxious, and I beefed with this for my entire playthrough.
And the others.
No, nothing. They must have landed further down.
Okay, keep searching. They can't
Why
be
are you
far.
breathing so
Hey,
hard, bro? I
Jack,
can't hear what they're
I have a
saying.
Sniper rifle. If you want it, just
Oh
let me
my
know.
god, bro. Can you stop whimpering in my ear, dude? You and Ann push forward into your search to find the other crew members when she has you leap in some caca water so she can open the gate. And she won't open the gate unless you get in the poo-poo water, so you leap down there and are immediately met with the native people of Skull Island.
My god.
What's up, y'all? They knock you silly, and when you wake up, you see they're offering Ann up as a sacrifice for something. Lo and behold, we get to see our favorite gorilla, and he takes off with Ann. Somehow Carl finds you undetected during the tribe celebration and bails you out. I fought my recording software on this next chapter, but basically, you and Carl flee from the islanders. Carl gets abducted, and then you go get him back, and you fight a big mama bat. Oh, and as if your stay on Skull Island couldn't get any worse, this is when you find out dinosaurs are still alive. You continue on the island with Carl, and you find Hayes just kinda standing there. You save his sorry ass because nobody can do anything without your help. The three of you carry on and you find some other crewmates, and this feeling of relief is short-lived because they get obliterated by a bigger dinosaur. You fight with the V-Rex for a bit until he gets bored and walks off, and this isn't your first encounter with him as the game is about to spam you with V-Rex appearances. You cross a boardwalk and it collapses beneath you. Hayes and Carl are convinced they can't just hop across to where you are, so now you have to go on your own way for a bit.
Wow.
Jump across. Literally just jump down. You go on your own way for a bit when you hear Ann. She somehow got free from Kong and somehow found you as well. The odds of everyone bumping into each other on this island are honestly incredible. You fight off a wave of enemies to make sure she's safe, but she gets carried off by another big mama bat. Now, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. This is what the back of the game promotes, baby. We get to play as Kong. You track down the mama bat and beat the brakes off her, only to find out your girlfriend is running away from you. You catch up to her, and then you get this really cute cutscene where Kong just stares at Anne for a bit like, come on, how could you hate that face? POV switch back to Jack, and I don't know where the fuck you are. You just kind of roam around until you see a herd of Brontosaurus, and it's a pretty amazing moment. You continue forward by yourself until, oh, randomly bumped into Hayes and Carl again. The timing on this island is nothing short of a miracle. So instead of hopping down with you and sticking together, they're once again screaming for your help as they get attacked by giant centipedes. You meet up with Carl and Hayes after saving them again, and they repay you by sending you through the herd of Brontosaurus to get fire on your stick so you can clear a passage for them. How sweet. You start heading back when you hear a loud roar that sent the herd into a stampede. Any guess as to what startled them? A V-Rex, baby! You narrowly escape, and then you're greeted by a gauntlet of enemies waiting for you on the other side. You and the gang get jumped by everything ever, and then when you finally kill everything, you see Jimmy, a lost crewmate, fighting for his life. You send Jimmy on a raft by himself, and for some reason it's a good idea to not tag along. You continue forward with Hayes and Carl when you turn a corner and a gate closes behind you. The gate in front of you is let open and you get another gauntlet of enemies. When the villagers see that you all made it out alive, they shoot fiery arrows at the group, missing every shot but conveniently hitting the blockage in front of you. Thanks, guys. You see Jimmy floating past you when the villagers heave fiery spears at you. You pick one up and set flames to the brush and assert your alpha male dominance, and this scares them away. You get on the raft finally and get to spend some quality one-on-one time with Jimmy. So, where are you from? Then, you get to fight off centipedes and the villagers while on the rafts. Literally everything and everyone on this island hates you, and this game does a good job of making you feel every bit of that hatred. You finally get far enough from the raining spears, and you get to celebrate by going through rapids and fighting off another V-Rex. If you thought it couldn't get any worse, you get to fight off another V-Rex. You go through an underpass where the V-Rexes can't get you when you're greeted by one on the other side. This feels like the end until Papa Kong shows up. We get the famous V-Rex fighting scene with the jaw snapping moment, and it's pretty cool until you see your girlfriend is running away from you again. Kong can't take a hint, so he tracks her down again. You hear Anne scream and get to fight two more V-Rexes. You give them the jawbreaker treatment and pick up your passed out girlfriend and stare at her again. I think we got it the first time. Meanwhile, Jack and the boys are trekking through the swamps where you fight a wave of enemies. It cuts on over to Kong and you're in the middle of fighting some dinosaurs. I love that Anne always screams for Kong's help, but then does the dash the moment he's not looking. You scoop her up and then you get to fight more V-Rexes. Of course, Anne needs your help again, so she does a leap of faith into Kong's arms. Conveniently, the boys see this, and Hayes is not cool with this transaction, so he shoots some rounds into Kong's back. Kong does not let that slide and catches y'all slipping trying to cross a log where he shakes it until everyone falls off. You wake up and find Carl is down in the dumps because he lost his camera. Bro literally doesn't care about anything or anyone except his lame ass film. You leave Pouty McGee behind when you hear Anne screaming per usual. Cut on over to Kong and the villagers are attacking him. This is weird because the villagers worship Kong and they just offered him a sacrifice. You wreak havoc on the villagers and try to get Anne to safety. You start trying to get through a gate when a V-Rex appears. Who saw that coming? It knocks Kong off the cliffside, and then you switch back to Jack. You see Anne running from the V-Rex and get knocked off into the water. You follow both of them downstream when she asks you to distract the V-Rex while she gets the gate open. While I thought I was doing a good job of keeping him occupied, I guess he got bored of me and made a beeline for Anne and ate her. Next go around, I made sure I didn't repeat my mistake and we got through safely. Kong is actively looking for Anne and eventually finds the gang. She convinces Kong that you're all friends of hers and he's just chill with it, I guess. Small gripe, and I know I said I wouldn't compare, but in the movie, Kong literally hates everyone except Anne, and he sees the group as the people trying to take Anne away from him. But in the game, he's just cool with it, even after taking bullets in the back. Upon leaving the cave you were in, you're still in some sort of ravine where Hayes suggests taking shelter up top to try to get through the gate. You fight off a wave of enemies before you and Anne go look for the levers for the gate. You get through the gates into the swamps. You fight off some more enemies when you hear Englehorn's plane. You try to get to where he's flying, but you have to fight off another mama bat as well as her minions. Englehorn is guiding you to where he wants to meet up. When you get there, you see him land. This reunion is short-lived by yet another V-Rex. Englehorn flies off and the gang asks if you can slow down the V-Rex while they get away. Why is it always me? Anne believes the only way to get rid of this V-Rex is to scream for Kong. Kong shows up and for some reason Hayes completely ignores the plan and starts shooting at Kong and screaming and then gets trampled by the V-Rex as they fly off the cliffside. We get yet another V-Rex vs Kong showdown, and when you defeat the V-Rex you see that Anne was abducted by yet another mama bat. At this stage of the game it feels like the most random shit is happening over and over to keep the campaign going. You beat the mama bat and scoop Anne back up, go through the fires of Mount Doom, and then when you climb to the top, you're greeted by 3 more fucking V-Rexes. Okay, large gripe, but in the movie, Kong only fights 3 V-Rexes for the entirety of the film. It feels like the game runs out of monsters or enemies, so they just spam the same shit over and over until it loses its shock value, and these enemies become more of a nuisance the longer you play. You kill all the V-Rexes for the last time, and then take Anne to your crib. Somehow Hayes didn't die after being stomped on by a giant dinosaur, so he's able to get off a few words of wisdom before he actually dies. Not gonna lie, Hayes' death kinda hurt me because it was nice knowing I had someone by my side who had a gun. You and Jimmy hear Englehorn circle back around, so you go back to where you were, and Englehorn only had room for 1, so he takes Jimmy and you go on your own to find Anne. You find Kong's lair and fight off his guard dogs before you find Anne. She's just chilling while Kong is straight catching Z's, boy. You two start heading back when a snake thing emerges from the water, and so naturally Anne screams, and this wakes Big Boy up from his nappy poo and he's pissed. You beat the mess out of these slinky looking things, and truth be told this took me a lot longer than I'd like to admit, but I got the job done, didn't I? You two begin on your honeymoon getaway when Kong interrupts it and ruins the vibe. You run from him as well as this thing. What are you doing? And you end up at the spot where Anne was originally sacrificed. She walks into a trap set by the Islanders, and here comes Kong to the rescue again. You pummel the Islanders and find Anne strung up again? Were they gonna sacrifice her again, or... Anyways, you scoop her up and get to the beachside where Carl set up a trap to capture Kong. His idea is that if he lost his camera, he would take Kong back to New York and get his fame that way. Kong is taken captive and wakes up in New York. He's shackled as Carl makes a spectacle out of him while citizens are stunned at what Carl claims is the 8th wonder of the world. Your delirium wears off and you break free and wreak havoc on New York City. The chaos is short-lived before Anne somehow calms the entire army and the police force, and Kong scoops her up and climbs the Empire State Building. Here we get the iconic plane fight scene where Kong ultimately perishes. This part of the game felt so rushed to me because it only took 9 minutes to get from here to here. Damn. Damn.
Move along, folks. Show's over. The airplane's got him.
It wasn't the airplanes. It was Beauty killed the beast.
Boo. Boo. Get him out of here, dude. In the end, people died and everyone involved in Carl's selfish ambitions walk away with nothing. Nothing was gained, but a lot was lost. This marks the end of this playthrough, and I was told to give these games a rating, so I know I'm going to get a lot of flack for this, but I'm going to give this game 2 Jack Blacks out of 5. This game wasn't terrible, but I really didn't enjoy it all that much. It felt good to be another childhood game, but I won't return to this. One thing I will say though, is this game perfectly encapsulated the feeling of get me the fuck off this island. If you made it this far and want to see more, comment down below a game you'd like to see me play. Okay. Love ya.